Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Rowell. Alright, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, I went to a rock and mineral show at downtown Waco at the convention center, and I picked up some kind of cool specimens for my collection, which I'll be doing some more with in a future date. But if you recall, some of the specimens I got react interestingly under a black light. Or ultraviolet light, and I picked up an ultraviolet flashlight there at the time, and I've kind of been enjoying myself lately by shining it on different things in the house and seeing what things react under the ultraviolet light. I know I have a few Guided by Voices posters, for instance, that are what they call blacklight posters. Now, for those of you who aren't sure what that is, a blacklight poster is just a poster that is treated with a fluorescent ink that glows brilliantly under a black light. And they were very popular in the 60s and 70s. You know, so you see a lot of, Led Zeppelin and that kind of stuff, blacklight posters around if you look and go shopping for them. Well, Bob Pollard, the singer of Guided by Voices, has always been inspired by a lot of that stuff that was going on in the 60s and 70s. So a lot of the posters that were produced for shows that the Guided by Voices did were blacklight posters. And I've been shining this flashlight at some of these posters, and it's really amazing, and they're really beautiful when you look at it. And I wanted to kind of share those with you. So let's get going. All right, so we can't have the real bright light on if we're going to really see how great these things look. But I've got a little bit of light so we can see what's going on the camera. Now, the first one I want to take you to is this one here. This one looks really, really cool by himself, but the red in his eyes glows under a black light. Look at that. I mean, kind of even getting washed out a little bit here. Definitely really cool, right? Look at the red in the eyes. And all this down here too. Camera actually isn't doing as good a job of showing that as I was hoping it would, but that's okay. You look at just a regular poster, nothing spectacular there, but holy cow, this thing just lights up when it gets hit by the black light. Now the next one I want to show you is this one here. This one's really cool too. This is kind of a cool poster to begin with, but under a black light, this thing just pops. And like I said, I wish the camera did as good a job showing this as it looks in person. But that green just pops off the page. The yellow and the red isn't bad either, but the green is just extraordinary in the black light. How cool is that, huh? Now these two posters here, this one here and this one here, have always been among my favorite posters. These are done by a graphic artist named Hess, and he has a very distinctive style to him. His imageries are always kind of a little gritty, often feature angels or devils battling for the soul of the individual. You see that here. You can see on this one here, there's a devil riding on the guy's shoulder trying to give him guidance. But one of the cool things, and I'm going to turn on the light here a little bit so you can see it, or can't, so you can see that you actually can't really see it. But in the blue here, if you look really closely, there's printing in there. And it's hard to tell what it says, and it's almost invisible. But you turn on the black light, you turn on off the regular light, and you turn on the black light, and the text just pops off the page. How cool is that, huh? Now, one of the reasons I like this Hess guy, he's kind of a local graphic artist in the Ohio area, and in addition to doing these two concert posters, he also did the cover for a Guided by Voices cover album called Blatant Doom Trip. And that was actually, it was a bunch of local bands from Ohio covering Guided by Voices songs. And that was pretty cool. In fact, I was just looking at the cover a minute ago, and one of the bands that's on that album is 84 Nash. And if you know 84 Nash, 84 Nash is the band that does the opening music, all of Jordan's vlogs. So, that's a band that's been around for a while, but look at that. You can actually read the text on there, and that's like really, really clear. You can see that very clearly. Very cool. And the same on this one here. There's actually some text buried in there too that's in some places it's easier to see, in other places it isn't under normal light, but it pops off the page when you're looking at it, the black light. Cool, huh? Now this next one here is you can look at this one, you can clearly say this has got to be a black light poster with all the fluorescent yellows and oranges and reds and greens on it, and when you shine the light at it, you are not disappointed. This one's probably this camera is probably doing a pretty good job on this one here. You can actually see the stunning color, but you can see how beautiful that is under a black light, right? I've been thinking recently that I ought to take some of these black light posters, put them in one area in the hall, and then have a black light there so that they light up the way they should. Now this is another poster that you can look at and just pretty much guess that this is going to be a pretty amazing black light poster. And this one actually does look really, really cool under a black light. Look at how that glows. Now this poster is really great because of the imagery, because it really kind of shows what Guided by Voices is, because Guided by Voices is definitely a festival of beer drinking and cigarette smoking and banging out great rock songs. So seeing a whole bunch of mice or rats, whatever, smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey and just basically partying until they're unconscious. This poster I think really reflects what kind of the feel of Guided by Voices is, and so that's a great poster there. Now the ones above actually look like they're doing something pretty amazing, but in reality that's just reacting to the white paper. That's not, you look at this in the dark, it's better dark if it's all dark, it turns into almost monochrome when you shine the black light on it, because it's just the two colors, compared to when it's on, it's a lot more of a stunning picture. Now, this one here has also been one of my favorites. I've only ever seen a couple of these, and the thing that really appealed to me on this one is this little flash of orange in the shirt. And I always thought, the other ones I've seen never really had that flash of orange on there, the streak of orange, and I thought that looked really cool. But look at this thing in a black light. Yeah, look at the coloration in this thing here. You can see the little streak of orange. The streak of orange turns yellow in the black light, and the streak of yellow turns green actually. So how cool is that? And the hair glows. So that one's definitely a favorite. And of course I got my Steve Keen over here, and Steve Keen doesn't work in blacklight ink, so might be actually kind of cool if he did. But we have this one here too, is actually kind of a fun poster. And you can tell with the colors that one's going to look really great under a black light too. Look at the orange pop on that. And the blue and the green on the car, and the orange on the Guided by Voices at the top. Definitely a beautiful one, right? And this is another one. This is actually one of the first posters I had that I realized had to be a black light poster, and put it under a black light and could tell. And just looking at the colors there, that's going to be the way that is. But yeah, look at that. The orange just pops off the page. Even the kind of brown on the Guided by Voices looks really great. And the dark blue and the purple. How cool is that? Like I said, this would be the area I'd probably put the black light posters in, and put a black light, hang it from the ceiling here. Look really cool, but it's amazing some of the things that you discover just by playing with them. Now we're back here into the guest bedroom right now, and a lot of what I have here are just mass-produced offset print posters. And so I wasn't really expecting I was going to find a lot back here that was going to maybe fill in as another blacklight poster, but it turns out this one with Mr. Spock here is the exception. Look at that. It's almost wiping out the camera's ability to see it. Let's get a little closer, see if we can really see. Colors just look really great on that, right? Good old Mr. Spock. He showed up on a few Guided by Voices posters at the time. That's definitely a cool one though, right? Now this one's kind of an unexpected thing. This is one of my Guided by Voices propellers. This is actually an album. It's one of the original albums released by the band. And on this album, they bought 500 blank covers and they hand decorated them. So every one of them is 100% unique. This one, they have this kind of anatomical picture of a skull. And then somebody's used like highlighter markers to color in the different stuff. And I just discovered by accident that the highlight markers are actually reacting to the black light. So I thought that was cool too. That was a complete and total surprise, because you would never notice that by just looking at that and saying, oh, I bet you that looks awesome under a black light. But yeah, it does look awesome under a black light. So, I don't know, that was just something I wanted to show you. I thought that was really interesting. Like I said, I've been enjoying the flashlight, and I discovered that, and I thought it was kind of fun. I wanted to share it with you. So, anyway, that's my vlog for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.